Yay! We made it.
And we changed the title to Pushing Through All Blocks, because sometimes you have the biggest blocks, but you push through.
And sometimes you oversleep. So that's what happened. Sorry everyone for the lateness of it all. Yeah, we overslept.
And obviously, I don't know, when you wake up in a um situation where you're like, all right, now the time is really close, we gotta hurry up and get it set up, then all the other problems start happening too.
Oh
The app
no.
didn't start when I tried to open it.
Oh really? Oh no.
Everything, but it's all right. We got it. We pushed through it. We have it set up. The internet works. So thank you, thank you, thank
Hello.
you, thank you, Mom. Obviously, she makes everything possible if it's for the highest. So
Yeah.
here we are now. Welcome. We have had an amazing day yesterday. It was L 8/12, which is 12 sums up to 3. So you have divine expression. Today is the 13th, that's 4. It's more about the balance, creating a home space, that safety. So yesterday it was really interesting because we did had really grand talks. We had a couple topics that came up, and it was really amazing and beautiful because we were all really just calm and receiving, and it's really beautiful. So one thing that I personally really like, it triggers me, is like if people can't receive, because even if it's a sort of a call out or you make them aware of something, it helps them in the end, and their higher self want to hear it. But ego gets triggered, and that's definitely something to learn, to find the own heart space in compassion, to find the right words, and pray whether someone does receive or not. And in the end, it doesn't matter, whether they receive or not receive, how they react with your guidance, with your awareness. It really doesn't matter. The most important thing is to speak it out, because
Speak up.
then you spoke your truth, and you don't have to get engaged with any sort of fight or something. You can simply smile at them, be like, that was dumb, I love you.
It's really important. You have to listen. You have to be opened. You have to be an open vessel, and you also have to be able to give. You have to be able to, call that thing out, because really, it's going to boil up inside of you, and that's a big thing for you to feel into, because a lot of times, I feel that people get very caught up in the other person. They want to call them out. They want to say this, and it has to do with something that they themselves uh, are lacking, or they themselves did not transform, or they themselves dealt with for a very long time. The same type of energy they're witnessing. So you have to really be conscious of the fact that you are involved in a situation with someone that is mirroring or reflecting you. And so you have to give them a lot of compassion, and you have to realize that that's you you're talking to also.
There's no others.
That's
I,
you.
I like when Craigie says that there are no others. And first, like, it's funny. I'm like, what do you mean there are no others? I mean, there's obviously another human being.
Hello.
But it is a reflection. And one thing that I really love to feel into is whatever frequency is able to come into your reality, it happens so because it's on some sort of level an energetic vibrational match.
Mm-hmm.
So either it is here to basically test you, how do you react? Are you going to react again the same way you did before in those situations? Or are you now, calm and can just receive, for example, and give your input into the situation? And on the other hand, it's every day something new, and you'll meet new people, you'll come into new situations. It's immense interesting to feel into what do they show you, like with every interaction I have, no matter if it's something really joyful and great, or if it's more or less an experience. Ask your angels, like, what was in there for me, and feel into the person that was in your reality. For example, like, what are their traits? Like, if it's someone really divine, really helpful, really genuine. That's a beautiful reflection of you as well. But like we said as well, those lower, frequency expressions are there because either you had dealt with it and you have transformed and are now here to basically assist others, guide them, or it's still, within on a deeper level. And in the end, it doesn't really matter. If you have someone there that is like a lot in the 3D and they don't have any clue of how to take accountability, if you're watching the stream, you're connected to us, you got the sessions, you're a master processor. You can transform and you know universal law. You know that as soon as someone takes accountability, it gets transformed. So,
Really?
yeah.
Is
So no
that the
matter if
truth?
it's, whose stuff it is, we take accountability for it because we're all one.
We are. Yeah, and I feel that you got to be real about. You got to be real about that accountability. You can't just say it. It's not just words. It is a full intention behind it. To be accountable for the energy that's in your presence, that you're experiencing. That's the thing about some people. This is just something like my father, or other people in life that have really been that way. Of why is this happening to me? Why is this? Why did this thing happen? Or oh God, why? And when you really get beyond that and blaming God, basically, and you realize that you have the power to enter into your highest timeline, then you realize that you don't have to be that way. You don't have to be so focused on anyone else. All you can do is just go within and realize that where you're at here is what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen in your experience. And this is a big lesson that I've been constantly rehearted of. And I know that a lot of us have had that experience where we don't really truly see that it's energy first. I remember that time that mom was talking and she made a little voice message, or it was a video or something. And she just goes, how can you fix anything out there until you fix what's in here first? Like, it doesn't work. Like, it doesn't, that is the retardation. That is the going backward. That is the flip and being in the mind. That somehow, some way, you're going to fix something outside of you, and then that's going to help you. That somehow that's going to make you better. And you have to be in a positive space of love everywhere present to be able to do anything truly, really, actual and true reality. And so really get deeply reflective on where this place is at within, and then from there you can give of that. If you don't have it already, how can you give it?
So true. Oh, there's this a beautiful part of Alice in Wonderland story where Alice sits and she's very, sad in that moment, and she goes to the White Rabbit and is like, "Hey, White Rabbit, do you love me? You're my friend." And he says, "No." And then Alice sits down and is like really devastated. It's like, "What the heck? I thought I'm friends with the White Rabbit." And then the White Rabbit explains and basically says, when I met you first, I made a commitment to myself. I'm going to love her when she's ready to love herself first. And he explained that if you don't love yourself first, how can you love anyone else?
True.
If you have not accepted yourself, with all we are, with the programming we took on, with our edges. Diamonds have edges. You got to really embrace that and learn to love yourself first, because then you realize as well, nothing is happening to you. That's victim consciousness. Everything is happening for you. So even the hardest lessons that you feel like really rattle your life and put you down, even that happened for you. Because your soul was growing through the experience. Afterwards, you were a different person. Best wise, you grew. And yeah, I saw it yesterday and it was really beautiful how the writer makes the rabbit describe basically, that self-love and how important it is that you first have to give yourself There's this book of the 5 love languages that I have read a while ago, and they talk about a cup of love. So you literally have a cup of love, and especially women, as I was, a mother, a working person, and a wife in that moment. So I wanted to be the best for my daughter. I wanted to be the best wife and have clean and have cooked, and also wanted to be the best worker and please my boss. And in the end, I realized I'm ripping myself simply apart. I was giving that energy on all those focuses, but not one time did I look in the mirror and told myself, "You're doing great." No one time did I look in the mirror and told myself, "You got this," or "I love yourself." And it was really intense times for me, where I personally had the physical experience of what it means not to love yourself, and basically dip so empty, like so low, that my cup was empty. I was done. I was burnt out.
This one dry cut.
I was like, oh shit, nothing left for me.
Huh.
Well, that gotta change. And that's the whole thing with society. There is no focus on, hey, how are you feeling today? Did you have enough time in the morning for you? So you get ready and started for the day. To do tell yourself in the mirror that you got this, that you can send all fear away, that you are love. Did you have time to take a meditation to, get rid of all the irritation inside? Because sometimes even in the morning we wake up and there's something, we're not fully in the heart. And then you start getting your stuff together, getting ready to work, rushing out, and then you wonder 2 hours later why you sit there frustrated and nothing works. Well, you have to start with yourself. Fly. If you want to fly through the day, first love yourself. It's the disciplines. We have them as spiritual disciplines on the side. I do like to call them self-love disciplines, because that's what you're practicing to that. And discipline has this, attachment to the world, to the word, from the 3D of like, you have to be disciplined, and all that kind of stuff. Military is discipline, but that's not the same type. It's how much can you hold yourself accountable and in integrity. Discipline means you're doing it every single day, over and over. And guess what? Even the beings that are, with mom over years, they're still doing it. And there is no, stop. There's no limit. You can always improve your self-love. You can always work on the transformation of the lower. And whenever a lower thought comes in, you can go and, look at the disciplines, what might help you. Even if you just stand up really quick and stand in front of the mirror and be like, no ego allowed here. I am love. I am love. I am love.
I just keep yelling out, "I am love."
Yeah.
That's what I do. And it's just like randomly we'll just be here and they'll just be like, "I am love. I am love. I'm love." And it's better than saying anything else, I feel. And that's just there's something to what you just said for sure that I'm trying to feel into how to explain, because it's all about like yeah, because I thank you. So starting within, and it's the same thing with the cup. It's the same thing, because until you are able to fill up that cup with all that love, that a golden stream of divine love, right? As empowerment, really feel into that. Until you can do that, then what can you really give? How can you be a giver? And the whole point is to be in balanced harmonics. And that is learning to receive and give. That it's those things. It's not a give and a take. Right? People are saying, well, it's always a give and a take. No, it's a give and receive. There's no such thing as take. That's ridiculous. That was the mind. We have half truths floating around everywhere, and that's been very confusing, I feel, for a lot of people, because they just attach to it, they run with it, and then when you try to tell them later on in life that it's not like that, it can be a big upset for them, and they don't want to hear it. And that's kind of like, we're talking about that, that you're fully accountable, and that you really can feel into what's going on. That's the thing. You have to be able to feel, and you can't just bypass those feelings. For a long time, I did bypass a lot of feelings. That there were things going on around me, and I would say nothing, and because I didn't fully understand what was going on, but I knew it was off, and I could feel it. And then through that, it was kind of a stuffing down of it, and then a blow up. There would be these blow ups between people because you sense something's off, and when you don't speak up about it and you don't express yourself, you're going to bubble it up within, and that's not the kind of cup you want to bubble up. That is not at all. That's the
Don't
kind of
throw the Mentos in the Coke.
don't throw the Mentos. That's throw a Mentos. That's a great way of putting it. That's a great way of putting it. When you see something that truly inside of you, okay, is going on out of right action, it feels off, whatever you want to call it, and you just hold that in and you really don't let that go. It is like throwing Mentos in a Coke and shake every moment you go through your day now. It's going to keep shaking it up a little more and a little more. That thing's going to explode. That thing's going to explode. And I feel that's where a lot of people get very into the notion of 3D people. Okay, so let me explain. So when you end up holding it in with, about someone else, and then they keep on doing the same things because they're not getting called out on it, they're not looking at it, no one's telling them, hey, this is pretty unconscious what you're doing. It creates a dynamic. It creates a situation of volatility because you're not happy, you're not in joy, you're not in gratitude. And so you're kind of just like filling up. And I really feel that we have to learn in this day and age now, too, now that mom has ascended, to, in the moment, obviously say something to someone, but also find those ways where you need to gauge the situation, where like maybe you're going to sit them down, later on that night and be like, listen, that thing happened today. And like, it took me a while to get over it within myself because I've done it too. But I just wanted to, express myself. I felt guided to say something to you. So, sit them down, find a way for them to receive it. Find a way for you to receive. We all have to learn how to receive, the call out and also the love. And it's all love. It's all love. So, just don't shake up that Coke bottle with Mentos. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. Just say what you got to say, do what you got to do, and just express yourself. One time, mom was asked, what is the point of life? So asking God what the point of life is. I mean, that's the quintessential question that most people have to the Creator. And she said, to express yourself. God, express yourself. That's the only path. It's the only way. So whether that's through the writing, whether that's through the dance, whether that's through, coloring, talking to someone, whether that's through learning a new skill and expressing that skill. There's so many ways to express ourselves. And as long as we stand up and say, yeah, I'm going to do that, then and follow through with it, then we're good. A lot of people, I feel, just don't go through those processes. They don't go through that like, yeah, I'm going to go do it. I'm going to get it done because it's my dream. All dreams of love are coming true. Everyone's dreams that they have had that are true, real, whole, pure love are going to come true. I mean, I'm talking to myself.
We're always talking to ourselves.
Well, that one in a big way. No, I want, because I know we've been talking about this and, just in a place where I'm going, well, what's next? Or what are we going to do? Or, what do I do more with my moments day to day? And you just got to trust. You just have to trust that it's going to pan out, whatever. You don't have to do anything in particular other than prepare your energy. Prepare your energy to receive. And I do feel that there is a point to getting to an idea, or getting to a level of consciousness where you do have that light bulb moment. You go, oh yeah, that's it. That's the path. Okay, I got it now. I got the map. And then just, I just traversed my brain. Okay, had the divine thought. Okay, boom. Now I can go. Now I can have a focus. Now I can have a trajectory. Now I can start driving towards that area. And you have to be patient with yourself. You have to be very patient with yourself. And I've learned that. I've learned to find compassion with myself and thus others through the journey as I feel into what to do next, or where, where do I got to put my energy? Because wherever my attention goes, that energy is also going to go there too. So be very conscious of what you're giving your energy to. And I feel a big thing they're pinging me on is that for a lot of people, one of the best things you can do too is just stop focusing on certain things. It's not even that you have to focus on more things. That's not the point. That, and that'll come later. That's a whole other thing where now you're focusing on all these divine things and you're getting busy and you're involved in the 5D energy is expanding. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if you're still giving your energy to lower 3D stuff and you're not saying something to someone, or you're not just letting it go, you're not just moving along with your day, or these things keep happening, or these types of thoughts keep coming up, you got to deal with that first. And that's that internal nature. That's the whole point, is that you got to figure out that internal nature first and foremost, because that's where the energy is. And energy is first. The physical came into manifestation because of the etheric nature of creation, because of the energetic nature of creation. So that was first and foremost. That this physicality is secondary. So we have to put that energy first and foremost. That's putting mom first. That was the whole point. It's the same wordage. It's the same way of looking at it. You can't slice that any further. It just is what it is. So fill your cup up. Do things that bring you joy. Focus on the things that you would actually like to care about and give more energy to.
Why don't we do that right now?
Okay.
I have a video of my mom.
Oh my God. Love you all. Thank you for being here this morning.
Right. See if I can. There you go.
There you go.
It's working.
Is it running?
Yes.
Okay, before we go into today's Earth Ally message, I just wanted to show everybody these 4 roses that bloomed. See if you can see them. I don't know. Let's see.
It's very bright on her end too.
Yeah.
Well, there's 4 roses that bloomed over here. November 10th, in the middle of November, 4 roses bloom. Beautiful. Exciting energies, everybody. Just gonna move up to the table to read the message.
She is pretty bright.
Yeah.
That's why she said she didn't go to the table.
There we go.
And we still have continued solar flare activity. This weekend is the full moon in Taurus, which is opposite of Scorpio. Very fascinating energies hitting us. So we have an Earth Ally message about these energies activating. And we also have Comet Ison and portal opening and amazing, eventful November. It has already been, and we still have 14 days left. And we have cloud ships everywhere. Brilliant. We had a huge cloud ship in the vortex yesterday. We have pictures of that. A message from the Earth Allies. The new Earth is in manifestation. The new Earth is in manifestation with a foundation of unconditional love, the only law which exists, can exist, will exist, and has ever existed. No matter what is unfolding in the illusion, the reality is that all atoms on this planet Earth are now moving into perfect balanced harmonics. and all of humanity, including all life on planet Earth, are moving inevitably into this frequency, 5D reality. This is why we say over and over, it's a family reunion. What is unfolding right before you, within you, and all around you is love. And love is here to transform all discordant or dysfunctional energies into love everywhere present. There will be those who attempt to run and hide from this process, but this will no longer work. As we are now in the final moments of duality, and all must be cleared. Duality, ego-based thinking, must now be transformed for our next incoming events to unfold. The incoming activating energies. These activating energies are strengthening the higher grid energies, intensifying and clearing and cleansing, and the clearing and cleansing process across the planet, and clearing the way for the next facet of the divine plan. Also, what these energies are bringing in is an intensified balance on the planet for more higher light to enter. This full moon, Taurus, is all about the feminine and masculine coming into balance. Love has decreed this so, and love holds the highest decree on this planet. All which is not real is inevitably dissolving, and what is real will be blossoming as we all together become one brilliant light of living truth. This is Mother Earth's destiny as she lightens up the higher grid with all love is everywhere present, in readiness to parade before the central sun. Her destiny is to be in pristine condition before that event occurs. So, what is arriving? What is arriving are events in preparation for the graduation of humanity. This is the moment you will all hold hands, heart to heart, and soul touching soul, together, and walk out of the darkness forever. And home into the light. This was the divine plan, and your contracts, and was signed by each of you. There's no way around it. As our dear friend told us many moments, it'll happen. And it's truly already here. Each of you just have to realize the truth that you are free. Each of you must walk through the veil and open the door into eternal life. For this is when you enter spirit. Ding! And transmission in all love is everywhere present. We are so in love with humanity. P.S. What to learn first to awaken? Number 1, be love everywhere present. Number 2, be the love you are everywhere present. And number 3, share the love you are with everyone present. Any questions? We love you. Enjoy this these amazing energies from the full moon in Taurus, which is earth energies. It's definitely going to be a whammy for all of us this weekend. So enjoy. We love you.
Yay! Thank you, Mom.
And we thank you for awakening.
Thank you for awakening,
Thank you for awakening.
everyone.
Don't forget that. It's all right again. There she is.
Wow, what a message.
That's
Um,
cool.
I feel she made one of the simplest points in the very end. It's about 3 steps: be love, and be love. Simple. um, what came through for me is we learn, to love ourselves first, which is, this like intimate first process of awakening. You start to questioning things, you start to realize things are different than what they told you. You start asking questions, you start researching, you find out a lot. You eventually, find out more about yourself, learn more about yourself, and learn to love yourself more. And when you have reached that state, it's about in every moment you're, not only with yourself, but no matter if you're at work or with friends somewhere or where it is, you still are love,
Mhm.
and you still be love, and you still share that love with everyone around you. There's this amazing story of mom in the elevator with a man that was clearly just like in his mind, lower thoughts. He was just, head down, really not happy. And mom was like, Angels, what do? I feel him. He's not happy. And the angel said, focus all the love you have in a smile and simply smile at that person. And the most amazing thing happened. Mom, when she tells that story, is so, you can feel the excitement in her, because the man looked at the girl and smiled back. He felt that love reaching his heart, got rid in that very second. Boom. All of those lower thoughts were gone, and he just saw unconditional love standing right next to him in the elevator. And he felt that as my body's lighting up, and he's
Mhm.
just smiling back at her. And that's the power all of you have. The smile is one of the biggest gifts. Your time is one of your biggest gifts you can, give to someone as well. And there's so many interactions, when we're out running errands, for example, someone just stops us, talks to us or so, and it's this small moment of patience. And whenever that happens, it's, a random person we don't know talks to us, I focus on the violet flame and send that to that person, so that, that they feel that healing as well. And it's amazing when you have the focus to talk to other people's higher selves, that comes out. If you have a certain perception of beings or judgment, you'll have, it's not a completely divine interaction. Basically, you already put that person into a box, into a label, or into a group of beings. That's what happens with society. That's what they wanted. They created countries, and then parties, and then different religions, and all that kind of stuff that separates us even more. So now you have, racism, which is based on belief system, people judging people, but they don't understand that they have all this judgment for themselves. They're not happy within. And one thing, about the balanced harmonics that I've learned yesterday a lot was my neck got really stiff on the right side, and the neck, like right up there especially, is basically like where control sits. So if you're a very controlling person, which often feeds out of or comes out of insecurity, you're not secure, you're kind of doubting yourself, you don't stand fully in your trust and your power, and then you start to control. You want to have some sort of safety outside of you. For myself, with the especially right side, that masculine, it's literally me controlling myself inside. I have constant thoughts of like, um am I doing the highest? Am I really here? What can I do? And I expressed it yesterday to Elle. It's almost like, you're trying to find validation in all those outside things that you do. And at the end of the day, it's like, all right, cool. I got the crystal content. I got this. We went live. I'm good. I can be happy now. That's very conditional. And that was the realization I had yesterday, where I was like, all right, crap. I'm like literally conditioning myself of I have to do this in order to feel whole, in order to feel good. And it's all about this like doing. It's, the masculine doing. You have to do something, and be the strong one, and get all the grocery bags yourself and inside the house and stuff like that. We learn to receive. We learn to receive help. We learn to receive guidance from mom, which is very spontaneous. It's in the moment, it's flowing. So you gotta be like water and just go with it. And like I described, for me, it's those thoughts that then come in after like I get a ping. It's like, oh, is it really the heist? Should you really just go and play in the water just now? You have so much to do. No, thank you. I be now. I'm just gonna be now and be happy and do what really brings my heart joy. And it's definitely a process where we learn to forgive ourselves, where we learn, that's something where the Gene Keys are amazing help to accept yourself better. Because for me, I understand now that, for example, that judging myself so much, that's one of those Gene Keys. And then you learn about not only the shadow of it, but what is the gift and what is the Siddha, which is basically the highest embodiment of this certain Gene Key. And yeah, it's that process of letting go more of the old, letting it go, forgiving yourself, and emptying basically your vessel of all those thoughts, all those belief systems, all those limitation box we put ourselves in. So in the end, we're able to receive the love. We receive guidance from others. We're able to surrender and receive whatever it is that comes to us. But yeah, it comes back to nothing happens to you, it all happens for you. So embrace the process, embrace your growth, and embrace your curiosity. If you want to find out stuff, if you really want to know, well, if all of that is a lie, then what is the truth? Go find out. Do your research. We have many great articles as well on the website to many, many different topics. Mom is, God omnipresent. So no matter in what direction you feel there is a block, you feel there is some resistance you have to push through, or even if you're, feel like you're stuck, you're in this loop and you don't know where to go next, have a quick call. Sometimes all you need is someone that listens to you and rehearts you that all of that is a present moment state, and it's going to change the very next second. You have to go through this pressure cooker, as I described it to Ellie yesterday. When you have a sewing needle, you have, that little hole in the top. That's where we go through.
The eye of the needle.
Exactly, the eye of the needle. So we get squeezed through it, that basically only our whole pure essence, only the love we truly are, can fit through. And when you try to like hold on to all your baggage, you don't fit. That's on you.
A lot of bags. Yeah. I don't know if you're aware, that's a Bible thing too, the eye of the needle. It's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man. And simply put, the idea is that if you're caught in the world and you're caught in the illusion and you're caught in the materialism and you constantly want to focus on making, just money, right? Instead of living your life and doing what brings you joy and just allowing the resources to come to you. When you don't do that, then you get caught and you do not live in a heaven state. You're not in your heart. You can't be, because you're so overly focused on this illusionary thing that got created. Now, full transparency. I mean, this is what I've been going through in my own being. And it's been this weird stuff coming up of my worth. And that's what I was saying to Kat last night, talking about, do the control of oneself and doing so many things that then you can pat yourself on the back by the end of the day and say, oh, I did this, and the other thing, and I'm good now. I served that love. And of course, serve love, but you can't do it in a controlling way. You can't do it in a way that you're in some future aspect of it where, oh, I'm doing this now because I know by the end of the night, I'm going to be happy with myself. And that is exactly where we're getting caught, because if you're doing something with your life that doesn't truly bring you joy and gratitude for life itself, then you're not really living your life. You're stuck in the system. And so I've always felt that there has to be a big divine balance. We're in a transition. We bring up the transitory government. Okay. And like how we've created these, the new website, with different councils of that transitory government. And so now we're learning more. We're going to move along from into there, and we're going to start having more of those interactions with people on those levels so that we can move forward. Now, this is a process. This is a process to get to replicators, to get to starships, to get to that higher dimensional beyond even 5D stuff. So I implore all of you, and I'm talking to myself, to do what it is that you really enjoy doing on your day-to-day basis. Perfect example. Thank you, angels. I remember having a session with someone, man, it must have been a year and a half ago at this point. And this woman went through a surgery, and we were talking about her life and her day-to-day experience. And I feel she was working in telecommunications and literally hanging wires for phones and cell phones or something to that effect. And I remember her telling me even that this is typically a man's job because it's very physically demanding. And so, barring all that, my point is that I could feel her heart when I talked to her. And I said, I feel something in the heart that like the surgery helped with your heart in some ways. And she said, oh yeah, I can feel it. I'm probably going to have a heart attack. And I'm like, I feel that the surgery helped with that, my dear. And I talked to her a little further, and she wasn't happy with her job. She wanted to quit it and start doing basically the products, like not necessarily even ours. She had her own ideas about doing products, and I feel candles and things like that. And she wanted to work with her daughter and actually make it a reality. And yet she was still caught in this job that she'd been working for years that was very physically demanding and was not bringing her joy. And so just simply feel into that. Is there someone in your life that keeps on doing the same thing and doesn't bring you joy? Do you keep driving to that same job every day that doesn't really bring you joy? Serving someone that you don't really enjoy being around? If that's your case, then just make a change. I've always been the type of person that's like, you got to just make a change. I'm not saying you got to do this, that, the other thing, but if you're not happy, make a change. If you're living in the cities and you're not happy with living in a city anymore, then make a change. Now, maybe you live out in the middle of nowhere and you don't like that either. You like a little balance. Okay, well then move. Hop in a camper. I don't know.
I felt that. I was like, if you like to
everyone
travel.
I don't know if everyone's aware of this, but 27% of all people that recently sold their homes are not rebuying homes.
Nice. It's a third.
So that's like the true reality of it. And yes, majority of them are going to then rent, but now a portion of that 27% are choosing to live in a camper or an RV. It's becoming the new thing. I just even saw someone locally that said, does anyone know where we can park our RV for the winter? We're done with renting. We don't want to we don't need to rent somewhere else. And I'm watching all of this stuff kind of shift and change. And thankfully, because they're showing me the young children now, a couple of years old, are just being born. They're so high vibrational, they're going to require living outside. Mm-hmm. They're going to require having to live in a space where they can just go right outside, or their house is surrounded by, forests or trees or what have you. They got to be able to be outside because I was feeling into this too. Like let's just say the people born now, 20 years from now. Okay. I have a deep feeling that they're going to completely reject the system, and in the most divine way. I feel the generation now is going against the system, and there's a lot of energy with that. There's some friction going on, because we're seeing it. And we're like, this is not going to continue. This is ridiculous. And I feel that it will organically change because of the children, because of the people. I'm witnessing it because I see older people still caught in the program and that they're not going to get out of it. And I'm talking someone who's like 80 years old, or even someone in their 40s or 50s who still doesn't want to change. Now look at someone who's a year old. That's a couple years old. Okay. And start really feeling into how that's the future. That's how it's going to progress. That's how we're going to move forward. And you got to trust in spirit that these beings, spirits, are more highly vibrational than the majority of the planet. They are already beyond karmic lessons and they will not have the experience that is required to go through the lesson. I am. I'm going through the experience. I love it. Please bring it on. And it's a constant rehearting of that faith that it is going to change, that things are going to shift, that it's already happening, that it is inevitable. And I started really feeling, because I love to get practical with that, because mom would just say things. She'd say, that this is inevitable. She would say that, but why is it inevitable? She doesn't go into that. It's for us to feel into ultimately. Mom, I feel, knew she only had so many moments upon the planet and gave us just those little nuggets. And also, as the master that she was only going to give us as much as we could handle in that moment. And you do have to feel into some things. You got to get that nugget, that profound moment of, oh yeah, it is all going to change, right? Why? Who, what, when, where, why? I truly feel that the children are going to be way more enlightened as they age and as they get older, and that they're going to change everything because the whole platform is shifting. You're watching how things are going under. You're watching businesses go under. And I know that everything that's going on, it has been a big attack to the middle class and, small businesses, mom and pop shops, of course. But don't forget, too, that there are many bigger named companies that have also boarded up this store, boarded up that store, and closed that store. And they're closing all these stores, and they're closing it down. And everything's shifting now. Everything's changing. Movies are even changing. Great thing, Matt Damon saying that he's like, children later on will not have the same experience of movies as we used to have. It's just changed too much. And everything's streaming now, and things aren't even coming out in theaters and weren't. And frankly, there aren't many of them opened. So the life has already shifted. It has already changed. And I have a lot of excitement to see what's going to come, because there is no going back to normal. There's no, because the things have already shifted.
Thank you. No more.
Already done.
Right. And it's really funny because it is the change that irritates people. You have this comfort zone built in your life where you have your little house, you picket white fence, you got your job, you do all your things, you have a nice hobby, you live happily ever after till you die. Well, that's normal. And that's not real life. I'm very grateful as well. And I feel one thing that I really want to, share with all of you to, let's sicker into your heart is you can trust, like it has to change. It was not good. We're not going back to whatever all dark things happened before, which I don't get into now.
And we're not going to talk about.
But
follow our Telegram group if you'd like to learn more.
Right, exactly. But it's this hope, and it's the faith, it's the trust. What I shared yesterday with Sarah's, humanity has, sort of just lost the faith and trust in themselves. So how can they have trust in the outside? And everything has to crumble down. It has to fall first to be built up again. And it's this weird simultaneous transition where on the one side, you see the people rising, you see communities form. Was it Asil, the man that was on the morning stream the other day that we connected with the other group?
Yeah.
This is a very awakened group that is sharing, their truth. They're pushing on their end the energies to make people aware we are going to an ascension. So it's not only us talking about it. It's obviously, a lot of beings out there. The light work community is just waiting for something to happen. This big blast of energy, this big light. Well, guess what? If you're not prepared, that big blast just going to blast you over. And there's no external outside event that we're waiting for that is the ascension. You are the ascension. Every moment is ascending. In every step you take and you choose to have the faith, to keep walking, to trust the plan, to find the beauty in this transition. That's why that video started with mom showing 4 roses. She's so excited that on a video for humanity, she's showing the roses. That's a way of appreciating your host, your Mother Earth, and finding the beauty in the simple things. But if you're so caught up in all the things going on, and you know all those topics floating around, then you don't realize that, and you don't stop to smell the roses. And that's the simple things where Mom said, that's what you do. That's the magic in life. The magic is to stop and stand and smell that rose, or just gaze upon those deers grazing for a moment and just appreciate yourself, because we're all one. That tree, when you walk by, trees stand there all over the planet every day, producing that air that we can breathe. They can absorb negative energies. They help constantly with this process. How often are you walking by the tree and be like, yo, thanks, thank you so much? That is something that I remember, especially back in Germany before mission. Some days I was 7 hours just going outside. I packed up my child, my dog, my little stroller, went, and sometimes we just walked, and I appreciated every tree that I met, which were a lot. But I was just like, thank you too, and thank you. And guess what? For whatever reason, you feel that joy as well. You can, if you really tap into your heart, you feel that gazing upon a beautiful flower, not only you experience joy by seeing that beauty and smelling that smell, you're also giving that rose, that flower, that tree, that animal, your attention, your positive energy, that other being, even, like if you listen to someone and you really make that eye contact and focus on letting them feel your light and feel your love, they do. We all are so connected. And the children, just read that comment again about the crystal schools. The children are different, definitely. There's this phrase of the lockdown babies.
I love it. Please
Bring
bring it.
So while COVID was locked down, people are in the program of reproduction, basically. Have their fun and have those children. And I've come along many videos where those babies were only a couple days old and start lifting their head to look around, which usually takes quite some while for them to strengthen their neck muscles. Or they start rolling over way early. I've heard my own daughter starting to like talk very early, and for many beings it just sounded like baby blah blah, but it was interesting because I could one hand feel what she meant, and on the other side you can kind of already understand those words. And she was a year old or something. It's amazing to see how they unfold if you give them the freedom to unfold. And that's what Crystal School is as well. It brings a platform to especially those children who are, for example, the loud ones, the rowdies in the class, ADHD, you're on the spectrum, you don't fit in the 3D narrative of a school. Well, you're not meant to, because the system is sick. The crystal schools are all about encouraging yourself, encouraging the children to learn by themselves, to, they choose what they want to look at today. For example, we have a whole curriculum with between 10 and even 13 days of content that you can go through with your child.
Basically the rest of the month too. Like we have all these different things happening. I just saw that it's just for everyone's awareness.
The workshop starts.
The workshops are starting. Yes.
Tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow starts the workshop, which is for everyone that just feels like there's more to learn. No matter if you have children or not, no matter if you're 21 or 89, that workshop is for everyone. And it touches on what are the crystal schools / light centers, that would be, for the adults. What is Mom's vision behind it? And what is the mission we're pushing there? What are the contents you learn, which is, for example, the universal laws, right action, alignment. It is learning about how to bring out your inner gifts, how to bring out your own brilliance, what sparks your curiosity. And I'm very, very excited for that. Even more excited for, I feel a lot of parents, when they get the ability to learn about the crystal schools, they're gonna consider that. rather than, homeschooling, the 3D stuff and the 3D schools. And you can feel the transition. We got to understand that all of you watching, all of you participating, all of you already, either being enrolled for the Crystal School or creating for the Crystal School, we're front runners, like all the way ahead. Mom's like all the way there already. We're catching up, but then there's this big collective that doesn't see the world yet in those eyes. And they're asking for certain events to happen. And mom's going to give every human being on this planet the ability or the possibility to wake up, to find out about the lies and about the truth. So it's so important to share this content, share about the Crystal School. We have beautiful how is it called, like a graphic to share as graphics. Well. So many graphics. You can create your own graphics as well and share that.
Really?
Yeah, I really love that.
Huh.
So yeah, it's happening. It's happening now, and no matter how it looks like, we know it's going one direction, and it's home into the light.
One. We're all way home. One. We're all one. We are one. Yeah. We are one. We are one, and I'm just feeling into. Many people are transitioning in the sense that I know I've seen things with people that they're like, I pulled my child out of school. I'm done. I don't know how it is in each state or county, country even. I don't know. I haven't done all the research. Feeling into it, though, these schools have been, very controlled throughout all time. That is what schooling does. It doesn't actually teach you certain things that you require to live in life. Prime example is I don't really see them, at least here's a good, because all I know is my own high school, but we barely had cooking. I mean, the chef was like, made them make French fries all the time. That's what they did. We didn't really have a lot of other activities. I was grateful to do artistic stuff, like photography, and a lot of art, and of course doing plays and acting and things like that. So that was fun for me. But I do really feel now that, especially with public school, because I didn't go to a public school necessarily later on, there very well could be a lot of mandates. I saw a picture of a girl who got kicked out of school that day because she wouldn't wear her mask. Good for her. I mean, it just seems ridiculous to me. Especially with the children. We should never, ever, 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 ever be experimenting on children for any purpose or any reason. We should not be giving untested vaccines to children. That just doesn't make any sense to me. I said it. I said it. I will not say it again because I know that they're monitoring it every word. We'll call it the jab now. I guess that's the word we use now. Anyway. But my point is that parents are waking up to this. Certain parents are waking up to the reality of that it is infringed. It is an infringement upon your civil liberties and your rights to mandate anyone or anything to do, mandate anyone to do anything in particular, especially when it comes to putting something inside their own body. You cannot tell someone what to do. You just, how they have to make the choice on their own. Yeah, you have to have the because we're moving out of the free will into the divine will. And I feel that people still have that free will, willy-nilly, kind of like, well, I have to make that choice. And that's a piece of it. I feel it's a piece of the puzzle, because when you just are submissive and let everyone just power over you, you have no free will, let alone divine will. And then it kind of like, you kind of have to flip it. And then you kind of, the judge becomes the victim and the victim becomes the judge, kind of thing. And then I feel that you break out of that, and that's how you turn into your divine will, because then you realize you have morals. You realize that you have ethics. You realize that you can't do the same thing that someone did to you. And when you do that, you start going, well, I wouldn't do that, or I wouldn't do this. I would only do what love says. And I feel a lot of parents are finally waking up to the fact that they have to do what love says for their children. And they have to get their children into a new way of being so that we can change what's going on. They just don't set it up correctly. I mean, I know in high school we had different tracks. I'm sure everyone's aware of those types of things. And I saw it. And it wasn't it was a class system. In other words, it wasn't this like, oh, well, they're brilliant and they're just dumb. No, I looked at it. These were the people who had money. I mean, you had a couple of people who were really brilliant, of course, and their financial status meant nothing. But I could sense it, that the children who had a worse home life, and I'm talking about people who ultimately, I mean, one kid went to juvenile hall, back then, and we only had like 100 people in our, whole grade. And I noticed how like that's how it was. And it's because they don't have access to it at home. They don't have access to those things on a day-to-day basis. They come into school and the schools don't know what to do with these people. They don't, they're all there together. They're all in different levels of consciousness and understanding. And so they start tracking them in different places. I really feel though that kind of keeps the children from ever expanding beyond what, because then the pressure of being a track one is just damaging, and this like, well, I'll never amount to anything anyway of the lower track is just as bad. And I feel that the answer is for those children to really learn how to teach themselves. I really feel that that's going to be the biggest thing moving forward in this whole experience, is that I don't know anything. I don't know shit. All I'm here to do is just be love, share that love, and just keep on sending it out there to everyone. And whatever comes through that is what comes through that. So I feel the children are going to have to be giving a lot of space to grow. And it's not going to be sitting in a box and sitting on a box around other boxes all day. Because you got to get out of the box. You got to get out of the box until there are no more boxes. And, I had a dream once. This is what solidified it for me, just to share with everyone. In college, I had a dream. And I was outside of the main building that I always went to where my department was. And I remember rolling around in the grass in the dream and feeling the grass on my body. And I rehearted that dream when I woke up. And I remember looking towards the building and just not going in, not entertaining it. I was just happy. I was a happy camper outside. And I knew that I couldn't go in, or I wasn't going to go in. What a reflection that I literally felt the grass. That spirit was saying to me, this is real. You can feel that, right? That's not real over there. You're not going to be happy. Because I was going to become a professor. That was my goal. That's 25 more years in a box around other boxes. And so ultimately, that was a big wake-up call for me to go, yeah, that's not real. This is what's real, the real life. And then after that, traveled. After that, made different decisions, started to be out, do things more, be out more. And the next thing you know, I'm here. And I'm like, wait, how did I get here? How did I get here? So crystal schools are everything, because we're becoming crystalline. These are crystal children that are being born. They require a certain type of being to really embody them higher selves. And we have to realize that also we're in a learning process with them. We're in a learning process. We're simply putting all those things that the master of all masters taught us, and we're putting it into those workshops so that we can present it. We are completely open, though, to what you have to say and where you're coming from. And so we can discuss things and learn more. And I feel we're going to learn from those children more than anything else. And I feel that's where we failed, is that people don't learn from their children.
Yeah. And
that's it.
And it's one thing that's so funny, because when I found Mom January 2020 last year, my daughter was about 3 years old. And really fast, she started to tell me things. Like literally, that little girl, when I had her, I had this little backpack carrier where she was in. I had my dog go on a walk at night, for example, to, bring her to bed or get her to sleep. She'd start talking about the angels and creation and all kind of stuff. And I was just like, all of that makes sense. Like, wow. I remember we were in the grocery store, came home, and I was just like frustrated. The dog was kind of everywhere. Alice didn't listen 100%. And she could feel me. She looks at me, she's like, Mom, cut cords. All this energy from people. And I'm like, wow. Like, she literally called me out that after, the grocery store, interacting with all those people. I didn't cut my energetic cord, so my energy was kind of like everywhere. And so I prayed for a second. I cut cords, commanded all atoms that are not mine away from me, and all of my atoms back to me. And I hearted. She literally was just sitting there on the floor, one shoe on, one shoe off, and just smiling at me, because she could feel that change as well. Like, that's one of the most profound experiences that I had with a 3-year-old. Whenever I'm on the phone with her now, she is so on point. Like, she literally says, I know I'm here. I help save that world. And like, just so awake, so in tune. And it was a huge trigger for me in the beginning to know that she's going to be with, her baby daddy's family, who obviously is in 3D and does has that ego program mind. But guess what? That little lighthouse is freaking strong. All of those children out there are literally lighthouses. The youngest children can process and help processing for the whole entire family. They bring in that childlike wonder. They bring in that joy. They don't care about your mood. They come and pull out a play in a game. And they if you really open up to the children, they teach you. They teach you to stop and be like, wow, a butterfly. They teach you to be in the moment. And if everything, something happens, they get over it really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And they see the same person tomorrow and it's like, hey, you bit my knee yesterday in kindergarten. I still love you and I'm going to play with you today. Meanwhile, we grown-ups literally hold on to grudges sometimes for just an unbelievable long time. So if you have children or you meet children, see them as those little lighthouse angels they are. The Crystal School is something that Mom built up to bring a frame, a stage for the crystal children, for all of us to grow together, to learn together. I'm more than amazed by what Mom has brought into fruition and still does through all of us. So grateful for that.
Yippee! So, it was profound. You said she had one shoe on and one shoe off, and it came to me to be in the world but not of the world.
Beautiful.
And for everyone, the world is the illusion, and that's a Jesus quote. Okay, be in the world but not of the world. And simply put, you got to have your being be focused on 5D new earth and everything that's joy, love, happiness, gratitude, all divine frequencies. You also have to participate in the Matrix. Did anyone actually see the films? Does everyone realize that they like plug back in to go destroy the darkness that's trying to destroy them? They have to plug back in. And then it's interesting because then they birth people out of the Matrix, right? They have children out of the Matrix and they can't be plugged in. They can't go back in. They never were born into it. They don't have the thing in the back of the neck. They're not bought and sold kind of thing. So really feel into that one because you do have to participate in what's going on as we transition out of it. You just can't be in it. You can't let it become who you are. You have to know thyself. You have to be in your heart. You have to feel into your higher self. And then through that, you have to go express that out there in the Matrix. Because guess what? When you're love, you're being love, and you share that love, you go out into a Matrix, you're going to glitch it.
You be the glitch in the Matrix. I love that phrase when I saw that. Like, you be the wild one, the tie-dyed sheep, the one skipping down the road, the one dancing in the supermarket to your favorite song that just plays and you don't give anything about what someone else says about you.
They love it.
That's the freedom. I feel that's the freedom the children show us as well. They don't care how they sing. They don't care how they look like. They move the funniest way when they hear their favorite song. So when did we start to really, care about others and what they think? They don't determine your happiness. They can't help you. So be free, be wild, be you, your inner true you. Love. Simple.
Come on now. Get it together now.
Nice.
Like, go on. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna keep doing it. I like pulling mom's cards, so I made sure that I did that. I feel that we'll probably end on the card if you
Mhm.
feel guided to. I would love to keep going, everyone. It would be awesome. Maybe one day we'll do a nice long stream, but we'll see. But grateful to have been on here today. Yeah, cool. Yeah, sorry again we were late.
Thank you guys for your patience, and
It's all good.
yeah, everything, like, no matter what block is in front of you, the only most important thing is you don't give up.
Yep.
You keep clicking that app until it opens.
Yeah. Get some. All right, cool. So I pulled a card today, Mama's cards. Enjoy it. Divine courage. Right here.
Woo!
Look at those eyes. We got the dragon. I know people have been talking about the dragon energy coming through too, and they can feel it. I wonder if I can read it if I hold it up. Courage is essential on the planet that has been enslaved in weakness. When passion and willpower are combined, courage is activated. Stand up, speak up, be an instrument for God's love. We ask our angels to help us find the courage to be the change we wish to see.
Woo!
Boom.
Wow.
We are the change we wish to see.
Yes, we are. Have the courage to push through your blocks. Have the courage to be who you are. And it did say it's passion and willpower. So if your heart is giving you the passion about something and you have the willpower to be like, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to accomplish this, whatever it is, even if it is getting up out of bed in the morning. Like, for real, some
No,
people
for
really,
real.
really
No,
deal,
for real.
they really deal with like depression
real.
or anxiety or wherever you are in your journey. Just have the courage to take the next step.
Yep.
And then the next one.
Yep.
And then the next one. And that's how you walk. That's how you get forward. That's all it needs. Mom made it pretty clear. Just be love and have the courage to stay in that power.
Have the courage to grow. Have the
Nice.
courage to grow. Be a fearless lion and just go out there and be like, "Rah!" Awesome.
Beautiful.
Awesome. 111. There we go.
Thank you
Ding, ding,
all
ding.
so much for your comments, for your love. Check out the Crystal Schools, Transitionary Government, and don't forget the amazing, and I had a blast laughing looking at the last one, the Streams of Hope in Aurora.
Yes, please.
They're the bomb. They're just throwing it out there. No censorship. And all it is for you, 1111, putting towards God.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool, everyone. So check it out. Check out the 5dfulldisclosure.org website. Book a session if you feel guided to. Do whatever you got to do. Just keep on keeping on. Keep on doing the work. Keep on doing what you got to do to be love in action, to be the love that you are already. It's that simple. And yeah, just be cool, everyone. Keep your cool. That's what I've been learning to do. Just be like, I'm going to be like water. That's what I love about the Gene Keys. It's been helping me understand a lot of things. And I got that water one. So I'm just going to be like water. That's all there is.
Be flexible.
Yeah. All righty, brew. Sound good?
A little meme for the end.
There we go. What does it say?
Yeah, keep on keeping on.
It's your dirt.
Just keep on keeping on. We love you all so much.
I love
It's a good one.
He's good. He's good. Good movie. All right.
Thank you all so much. We love you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I love you.
Love you. Love you all. Love you, Mom.
Please forgive me.
Please forgive me.
And thank you. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm
Did I say
sorry.
thank-
Yeah. 5,
6,
7,
8.
na 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 na. Hey, lovers one.
Joy.
Na 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 na.
Hey.
Na 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 na. Hey,
lovers one.
Enjoy rains.
And disclosure's coming.
Is already here.
See you later, all. How do we shut this thing? Oh, over here. I did it full screen. We were like, where's the go?
How do we end it?
How do
Here
I
we
stop
go.
this thing? All right. We'll see you later, everyone.
See you tomorrow.